So what we're going to look at here is router version 2 utilising variable length subnet masking, and the address we're going to use is the 192.168.1/24. It's a class C address, so it gives you 256 addresses that you can segment into the subnets that's required. And if we look at the table here, we've got 3 routers. One router is requiring 80 addresses. So we'll look at the little chart down here. So when you have 80, you have to use the 128. So that gives us a subnet mask of 128. Well, we have a look on here, 255.128. Then there's another 39 IP addresses required for router 2 network. And we have a look, so it's beyond the 32 margin. So we're going to go for a /26. Which is giving us 64 addresses and 62 usable. We treble 255.192 for that area. And in the next section, it's requiring 22 IP addresses. So we're looking at the 32 area because we can't use the 16. So it's a /25, 26, 27. And we look underneath and it gives us the subnet mask of 224. The next area is router 3 again, but this time it's the B network and it's requiring 9 IP addresses. So we'll have a look down and we see that we can't use 8, so we go to 16. So it's /24 would be here. 1 to 8 is 25, 26, 27, 28. And we look underneath and that shows that we'd have a subnet mask of 255.240. The other 2 addresses that's required, we need 2 to connect router 1 and 2, and we need 2 addresses to connect router 1 and 3. So to get them, you must have a look down here. So there it's here. It's in the 4 section, and that gives us 2 addresses and network and broadcast address. And underneath you can see the notation for the subnet mask. And there they are there in place. Right, so now that we've got the configurations in place, and you double check, make sure they are actually accurate. And the best way you can do it is you work through the network subnets and you take away from the previous one to get the broadcast. You work out the usable and you go through them step by step until you have them all in place. We'll go over to Packet Tracer. Now I've already popped up 3 routers and the 4 PCs that act as the networks that's required, and these will be the 1841 routers in the section on Packet Tracer just down here. So that's everything in place. So what we're going to do now is we'll connect them up. So we're using crossovers of the PCs to the routers, passing in at 0. And it's a good thing to actually write these down so you remember which ones are which, because once it starts filling up, it can get a bit muddled and you might lose track. And then 2. We'll go up here. And then the final one is down here. Now when we're connecting the routers, the requirement is to have a clock time. Well, we'll start with router 1. And you see that the actual interface area is not full. So you have to click on the power button to switch it off. And then you look for the serial high speed interface, drag it up, and pop it in, switch it back on. And we'll do number 2. The same. And turn it off first, and then switch it back on. And then the final one, switch it off, high speed interface, switch it back on, and that's them all available for to get plugged in. So we're going to use a clock rate. So we're using serial interface 0/1/0 on the left terminal, and you pair it up the very same. And on the other side, and now it's 0/1/1. And so not to get confused, make sure that you go for the 0/1/1 on that side. Now I've opened that up in dual screen so you can see both the chart that I'm going to use, which is very important, and the packet tracer file, which we're going to start doing. So the very first one will be the network for router 1, and this is this one here. So we're going to open it up. Right. So if you want configuration dialog, you say no, enter. Now there's no securities on this file. A previous video that's on YouTube shows you how to do all that. So that must be done. So you follow that and then follow on what's actually shown here. So we'll head up to the configuration mode, Command T or configure terminal, as you can see by pressing the tab key, and we're in place. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to assign the IP address to this interface. And the way you can get this, the FA 0/0, is you go into options, preferences, and in this you've got a radio button that says always show port labels. So if you click it, they'll show, and if you don't, if you unclick it, they'll disappear. Well, it depends what you would like at the time. This is something I like to have so I can see what I'm actually going to assign, and then we'll bring back up the router's interface. One thing that you can do here is in the line console, so we'll head there, console 0, because you've only got one port, and then it's this, exec timeout 0, 0. And all that does is it tells the router not to switch off the config if you're away too long. So because you're putting in multiple commands, you might jump from router to router, you don't want to keep on trying to log in. So that command actually just lets you stay logged in, and it's easy to jump from router 1, 2, 3 whenever you feel like. So we'll exit from there, and we're back in there. So the first IP address that we need is the router's gateway, and that's for interface 0/0. So we'll go interface FA 0/0, and that's us in that interface, this bit here. So what IP address? Usually the router says, well, I'm the most important machine in this area, so I'm going to take the very first address. So we're going to give the router's address of IP address 192.168.1.1, and you must put in the subnet mask as well, 255. Now nothing will happen. You've just assigned that actual IP address and that for that interface, but as soon as you say no, shut down, that means switch it on. And as you can see when you press enter, you have now got a successful startup to the areas. So what we're going to do, we're going to minimize this, and we're going to go on to the network of the 1.0 network that we just talked about, and we're going to assign an IP address to the PC. I'm going to desktop, IP configuration, and then this will be 192.168.1. We could use the last usable address would be 126. Press enter. Now this is what you have to watch for. This will automatically come up as a class C because it's looking at the IP address, but we've segmented it with VLSM. So you have to give the very same subnet mask as what the router got, which was 128. And then you have to give the gateway, which was the router's IP address. And you close it. You don't have to press enter or anything. And that's it done. Now to check that it's up and running, we're going to ping the router. Ping 192.168.1.1. And there we go. We've successfully got the PC connected to its own router. So you know it's working. And that's that one area done. We'll go on the next area, and it's router 2, which is down here. So what I'll do is I'll switch these off so you can see. Router 2, and then in here we've got 39 addresses that we're needing, and the first address that we're going to use for the router will be the first usable is 129. So we'll open it up. Go on the command line once again. No. Press enter. Line console, and then 0, 0. And then so we're back to initializing this interface. Do you remember what it was? It's difficult to remember, eh? Let's say preferences, close, and there it's there. So it's FA0/0. That's what we're looking for here. So interface FA0/0. And that's it. And then the IP address. And as we said, we're on, we're on router 2, which is the 128 network. So the very first address that the router will take is the 129. That's 192.168.1.129. The subnet mask 255.255.255, and then this is the one we have to use. So 192, and then no shut you could use, or press tab, you get the full word, no shutdown. And let's have a look. Press enter again. And there we go, we've got green lights, which is always a good sign. So we're going to go on the PC, in here, desktop, then we'll get our chart, and we'll look at our chart again. So we're going to use the last usable address in that section, which is 190. So it's 192.168.1.190. Remember what I said about the subnet mask, you have to change it yourself. 192. And then the gateway was the IP address that we gave the router. 192.168.1.129. That's that done. And just remember that. You can copy it. And close it. We're going to ping to make sure they can speak to each other. And there we go. That's another one set up. So that's router 2 done. And then this is a more complex one. We've got 2 interfaces. So you have to make sure that you're doing the right one. So the PC on the left hand side has the upper address of 32. So we're going to go in there. So just remember it's FA0/0 for that network out the interface. So no to that. I'm going to enable, and then copy, and then line console 0 is the port, and then exec timeout 0 0. Enter. Exit. And then that's it's getting. Now we're going to actually assign the IP address to the router's gateway, FA0/0. So interface FA0/0, and that's this in config interface mode. And just don't try not to get confused, because it's split up into two areas, this one router, is you're looking here. So the first address in that network is 193, and it's the routers 192.168.1.193, and then space 255.255.255 dot, and double check 224. Oh, now you notice something. So what we're going to do is, I never added the IP address. Copy, and then IP, and then paste. So mistakes happen, and that's what you have to be very careful of, just in case these things happen. So you enter that, and that's it working. So we just go down the route that we've done before, and no shut or no shutdown, press enter, and that's that line up. Right. So while we're in that area, we're going to go to the PC, so we don't get too confused. So we're still in the router 3/A area, and we're looking for the last usable address. So 192.168.1.222, and then we have to change it to 224, and then we'll have the router's IP address .1 dot double check 193. Now I'm going to close that. On command prompt, I'm going to ping 192.168.1.193, and there we go. And that's that one working. Close that. And our final one of the network is the interface FA0/1. Go back on that router. So we'll just exit back, so we'll keep the commands going. And remember, you can press the up key and you'll get through a list of areas that you've done. So this is 0/1. So we can just knock the last digit off and press enter. And then the IP address we're looking for, saves a bit of time, is on here, and the router's address will be 225, as we're in this section here, and space, and 255.255.255 dot, and what's the 240? No shut. And then that's that one up. So we go on the PC, in the configuration area for it, IP address. Now we're in this section here, and it says the last usable, so it would be 238 would be the last usable address there. So 192.168.1.238. And remember, we're going to change it to whatever the subnet mask we calculated earlier on. So it's 240. So the router in the PC is on the VLSM network, and this is going to be the router's address. Dot, and we can double check, 225. Close that. Command prompt, ping 192.168.1.225. And there we go. So what we're going to do here is we're going to configure the serial interfaces. So we'll start with router 1, and we're already in configuration mode, so we'll do interface, and the first one we'll do is S0/1/0, and then the IP address that we require for that one will be 241.192.168.1.241, and subnet mask. Yep, IP address. And no, shut. And we've done something pretty big. We've commanded all the interfaces are there, so you can do at this stage is do UR. So it just saves the configuration that's taking place. So that's that interface there. And then we're going to go up and open router 2. Exit. Then interface S0/1/0 P address 192.168.1, and then we'll have to look on here, 242. Oh, 242. And subnet mask. No. Shut down. So you can actually have a look in your config area at your serial. So we've done serial 1 and it's in there. You should be learning the command lines, but you can enter the IP addresses in there. Obviously you wouldn't be able to do that on a real router. And there's the addresses there. So you know now 241 for R1 and 242 for R3. Right, so we'll keep R1 going because we're going to set up the serial interface for this one. You can see it's blank. We're on the command line. Exit from here, and then interface S0/1/1, and then IP address 192.168.1. And we'll give it the first address, so it's 245. I beg your pardon, but that one there is a 6. As the broadcast is 247. Try and be careful when you're calculating and putting in the actual IP addresses, that double check, because it can be quite frustrating when you think we're going to give it 245 for router 1. No. Shut down. And that's that one done. Right. And then we'll go onto router 2, and on the command line, as we can see, on the serial interface is blank, so on the command line, we're going to exit from there. Right. Interface S0/1/1, and then IP address, and then it's the 246.192.168.1.246. And we'll shut down, and hopefully when I press enter, these red triangles should turn green, and there we go. So the interfaces have switched to up, and if we get rid of these two, the radio box to hide the interface numbers, we can see everything is green. So just to double check, we've got this PC here, so we'll go on the interface and we'll have a look, and then there's the IP address, and we'll go on this PC down here, we'll go on the command prompt. We're going to ping. So we're going to ping this address. Remember, we could ping the network, but can we ping the network over here? This PC on router 2. So it's sending packets and it's telling us that it's unreachable. So now what we have to do, we could either create static routes, which takes a long time, or we can do it by creating RIP, router RIP version 2, and that's going to be the next video.